I'm joined by India Today's Aishwarya Paliwal. Aishwarya, on a day when there are other politically relevant stories as well, when we see Rahul Gandhi completely sidestepping everything and staying focused on the economy issue, this debate or this reply from the government today will be extremely important on the tariffs.
Well, definitely. It's not the first time that we are seeing Rahul Gandhi making these kind of statements with regards to the government, with regards to India's economy. In fact, the first time when Donald Trump used to speak about the fact that, it was the US which made sure that there was ceasefire between India and Pakistan. Just a couple of days back, we heard Rahul Gandhi saying that now you have seen what the government has responded to with regards to Operation Sindhu. Now you just wait for the trade deal to happen and just see the kind of trade deal that will come out. These were the remarks being made by Rahul Gandhi almost 48 hours ago. And now we are seeing the Indian government now trying to make sure that the economy stays stable. They are also at the moment looking at the impact. And that's the reason why we are now seeing the Commerce Minister, the government, very, very clear that they want to make a statement. And that's the reason why a statement will be made by the Commerce Minister, both in Lok Sabha as well as in the Rajya Sabha, to send out a very clear message to Indians and to the world at large with regards to what the government is doing. Let me tell you, the government has been working throughout the night, making sure that they get the statement right and they are able to tell the country what will be the next steps that the Indian government will be taking over the course of the next few days.
Also, Aishwarya, this is not going to be an easy task for the government because we never know what Trump will do and what he'll say. So carving out a good political statement and something that will satisfy the parliament at large will be a difficult task.
Well, definitely. The government will have to give solid information with regards to what it wants to do next. What are the steps that the government will be taking, government at large, Commerce Ministry in specifically? So what is it that they will be doing? And let me also tell you, the business people also at the moment, they are also very jittery, looking at what the government will do next. From what I understand at the moment, we understand that some of the orders have been put on hold because the exporters are in a limbo. They do not know what needs to be done next. So through this statement, both in the Lok Sabha and in the Rajya Sabha, we will see a clarity coming in.
Right, absolutely. And this statement is important for those traders as well who export to America, and they would also be keeping an eye on that. Thank you very much, Aishwarya, for those details. Now, India's friend has delivered a feisty punch with new tariffs. We are talking about Donald Trump. President Trump has now imposed a 25% tariff on India ahead of the August 1st deadline. Union Minister Piyush Goyal will speak in the Lok Sabha at 4 in the evening and in the Rajya Sabha at 4:30 p.m. In latest, Trump has criticized the economies of India and Russia, saying both nations have, I quote, dead economies. He added that he doesn't care about their relationship and remarked that they can put down their dead economies together. This statement came shortly after he announced an additional penalty on India for purchasing weapons and energy from Russia. Amid this, the US has imposed sanctions on 7 Indian companies for trading with Iran. India so far has struck a measured tone, saying the government is studying the implications and remains committed to achieving a fair and mutually beneficial trade agreement.
Prime Minister Modi is a friend of mine, but they don't do very much business in terms of business with us. They sell a lot to us, but we don't buy from them. You know why? Because the tariff is so high. They have one of the highest tariffs in the world. Now, they're willing to cut it very substantially, but we'll see what happens. We're talking to India now. We'll see what happens. It doesn't matter too much whether we have a deal or whether we charge them a certain tariff.
On the tariffs on India, are you still open to negotiate with India on the tariff front?
Well, we're talking to them now. We'll see what happens. Again, India was the highest or just about the highest tariff nation in the world. And one of the highest, 100 points, 150 points or percentages. So India was one of the highest in the world. They had won 175%. And higher than that. There's another higher one is Canada. They've been charging our farmers 200%, 300%, 400% for years, and nobody did anything about it. But India is one of the highest, so we're going to see. We're negotiating with India right now.
I do believe the American stand has not been totally reasonable. And I believe our stand, we can possibly show some flexibility, but there is a limit to how much flexibility we can show. Everything depends on the ongoing negotiations. I wish our negotiators good luck and good courage, because we can't afford to buckle under. We have to keep our national interests as number one in our minds.
The US President Donald Trump has announced a sweeping 25% tariff on all Indian goods imported into the United States, effective August 1st. Trump accused India of imposing high tariffs and maintaining non-monetary trade barriers. The move comes despite ongoing trade negotiations and recent diplomatic overtures, casting a shadow over hopes for a breakthrough deal in the coming weeks.
The irony could not have been more stark. Even as the space agencies of India and the US were celebrating the success of a major joint mission, the US president was declaring a trade war on India. In a social media post on Wednesday evening, Donald Trump announced a 25% tariff on all Indian goods imported in the US from the 1st of August. He justified it, saying though India has been a friend for a long time, there was little business between the two because of high tariffs. He also accused India of having the most strenuous and obnoxious non-monetary trade barriers of any country. Trump added that India had always bought a vast majority of its military equipment from Russia and was the largest buyer of energy from Russia. Because of this, he said, India will also face a penalty on top of the 25% tariffs.
India has been a good friend, but India has charged basically more tariffs than almost any other country.
US is India's largest trade partner, the top export market with bilateral trade at $128 billion in 2024. The unexpected announcement dashes India's hopes of preferential treatment by the US. India was the first nation to engage the Trump administration in talks. India had already lowered some duties and eased immigration rules after the talks began after Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to the US in February. But a tougher stance had been adopted in recent weeks, especially over contentious issues like agriculture, dairy, and several non-tariff barriers. Meanwhile, hope is still afloat for a preliminary deal in the next couple of months, with the 6th round of trade talks scheduled in the last week of August. Bureau Report, Business Today Television.